Is Representative Hodges in the room? Connick? Connick. I say again, is Representative Hodges in the room?
I was sleeping in the back.
Representative Connick, I apologize. As soon as we get the room cleared up, we're going to take up HB 266 by Representative Connick. As soon as the room clears up, we're going to have the staff read into the records. Okay, members. Staff.
Members, HB 266 by Representative Connick provides for term limits for members of the nominating committee of certain flood protection authorities. We do have a set of amendments here that's number 1647.
Okay, you want to explain the amendments?
Members, amendments number 1 through 4 and 6 are technical. Amendment number 5 provides for the manner in which each member of the nominating committee is selected from their respective entity. And amendment number 7 adds that nominating committees are subject to open meeting laws and public records laws.
All right, I'll offer those amendments. Are there any objections to the adopting of those amendments? No objections. The members are adopted. Representative Connick, on your bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. And members, I enjoy every time I come to this committee. I learn a lot, and thank you for your work and for your patience. And I know it's been a long day. This is a good government bill. It places term limits on those selected to serve on nominating committees on levee districts for the Southeastern Flood Protection Authority, East and West. It does not change those organizations that select the nominators. It does not change the nominating organizations. This bill makes the process better. It provides a framework on how members of the nominating committee are nominated. It provides transparency, and it places the process under public records law. Currently, as the law stands, the people who are in statute have no term limits. They are selected for life who can nominate. For example, a faculty member, as it reads currently, if you look at the amendment number 5, I'll give you one example. As it reads now, the dean of the College of Engineering at the University of New Orleans or his designee is the nominator. The change we're making, we're attempting to make, it says, a faculty member of the College of Engineering at the I'll read number 5. A member of the National Society of Black Engineers to be appointed by the National Executive Board of the Society. So we're not changing the groups who select. These are important groups. These are knowledgeable people. These are experts in the field. We're not changing that group. We're just saying the members selected from that group have to have a turnover after every 8 years. It can't be the same person over and over again. And I was kind of surprised that on Friday I got an opposition from Citizens for One Greater New Orleans. That group is why the law was changed after Hurricane Katrina. They did a great job, and they're behind me. And their effort brought new era of professionalism, accountability, and transparency to the New Orleans Levee Board system. This bill will help improve this. This bill will help people understand who's being selected, how they're being selected, and once they finish their term, they move on. Now, one of the arguments you're going to hear is that, well, term limits is going to prevent the person, it was going to lower the quality of people and lower the amount of people who are willing to serve. We heard that argument years ago when term limits were imposed on this body. And I think without term limits, a lot of us wouldn't be here. But we're willing to serve, and there's people in this community that are willing to serve. And with me is Ms. Sandy Rosenthal. She's the one who brought me this bill, brought the issue to my attention, and she would like to say a few words.
Good morning. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the committee. My name is Sandy Rosenthal. I am from New Orleans, and I support HB 266. After Hurricane Katrina, I founded the group levees.org because everyone deserves to know the vetted facts about the levee failures that took more than 1,800 lives and nearly drowned an American city. The greatest accomplishment of the 25,000 member organization levees.org is setting the record straight that responsibility for the failed levees and flood walls belong to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers owing to its design mistakes. In the aftermath of those failed levees and flood walls, the Louisiana legislature passed levee board reform. One of the goals was to remove control from the Louisiana governor of who gets to award contracts for levee and flood wall work. And revised statute 38331, passed by the legislature in February 2006 and passed by the voters of Louisiana later that year, did exactly that. It took control of who gets to award more than $60 million of taxpayer money annually out of the governor's hands and gave it to a small group of people. And that small group is the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority nominating committee. But these folks apparently have term limits for life. There are no term limits. So I and my supporters, and also everyone here wearing this lapel button, believe that this is not good government. And I urge you, ladies and gentlemen of this committee, to agree that the nominating committee should be term limited. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Representative White for a question. You're on now.
Would these term limits be staggered for continuity of knowledge and experience and just?
Yes, because it's
You have a whole board roll off at one time, you're probably going to have a lot of confusion in the process.
I think it's as of right now, it's for 2 terms. If we need to correct that, we will. So we don't have that
You
stagger.
see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You don't want everybody to leave at one time and not have, you want some seniority there and some knowledge there. And I think that'd be something we can fix it if it's not in it.
Well, it's just continuity of knowledge, as to what's going on. Just to have a whole brand new group come in, sometimes that can create more chaos.
And we can work on that.
I would that's the only question I had. Thank you.
Okay. It's a good point. Thank you.
You want to fix it between here and the floor? You'd like the staff to prepare amendment?
I would like
Representative White, you want to fix it between here and the floor or what?
Yes. Yeah, we can do that. Representative Connick, it does say it's staggered.
it does say it's staggered 4 year. The proposed law establishes a staggered term of 4 years for nominating committee members.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Representative Carpenter for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Representative Connick, I like your bill. Really.
Thank you.
I think term limits bring new vision and energy to any board. My only question or concern, if you will, under your listing of the proposed laws, you have a statement here. It says it provides that service of 2 or more years constitutes a term. So does this mean that some people will be elected for 2 years?
I think we fixed
And
that
some-
in the technical amendment.
Okay.
We fixed that. That was one of the, it's in the digest, it's correct, but when we looked at it in the language, that's
Right.
one of the amendments that we corrected.
Meaning,
It should be terms.
It's
The word should
terms
be
instead of
terms.
years.
terms.
So-
Okay. So then that gets to the additional question that Representative White referred to, too, with staggered terms. That helps to stagger it even more,
Yes.
for a better word.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's amendment number 6.
Perfect.
Let me just weigh in a little bit about this term limit. That may not be a good analogy for. I support your legislation, but it may not be a good way to describe, because some of the proponents and supporters of term limits, as you very well know, said it's the worst thing that ever happened to the state because of the institutional knowledge that has left us, and in many instances the bureaucrats are run, and the lobbyists are running this state. So I know what you're trying to do, and I agree with it, because people fight to stay on board, forever. That's their political power. But again,
Everybody's replaceable,
I absolutely I agree with that.
and there's a lot of good people out there who want to serve.
But again,
But understand your position.
the institutional knowledge has passed us by in many instances, and there's still a few people around that have that knowledge. But let me read those people who are in support of this piece of legislation. Then we're going to give the opposition an opportunity to come in. I see Representative Gwynn has a question. Is for the supporters, Representative Gwynn? Yeah. Hold on one second. There you go.
All right. Why do you feel that this legislation is necessary?
Because it's important that we have fresh faces, new ideas, and open transparency on those individuals who are nominated to serve on these boards. Right now, there's no term limits for these individuals.
Is it because they handle a lot of money and spend a lot of money?
Well, they appoint individuals who control a lot of money, and they control the millages, and they control, when a millage is going to come up for renewal, and how we're going to do certain things within the levy district.
It's a power deal then.
Pretty much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Representative Carpenter, you have a question? Carter, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Vice. Real quick question. Are these members paid?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, those people are in support here, and we've already heard from Ms. Rosenthal. Sherilyn Branch, I think it is, from New Orleans. Mary Lou Van Tallingen. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're getting tougher and tougher. From New Orleans in support. Jonathan Henderson from New Orleans in support. A. Jane Avery from New Orleans in support. Miss Joyce Thomas, Self and Levy Organization from New Orleans in support. Claudia Daquin, New Orleans in support. And Nita Heitmeyer, I guess, here in support. Now, if we give the opposition an opportunity to come in and make a presentation,